Hello guys, my name is George and welcome back to another Hunter's Prestige fitment guide. On today's video, we're going to be fitting a rear spoiler on this Fuji White Defender. The reason why we picked a Fuji White is because we can show you the body lines as clear as possible where you should be fitting the spoiler. Okay, with every spoiler that we supply, I just wanted to show you why it's different to all the other spoilers on the market currently. So our spoilers actually come with genuine 3M tape. So we choose 3M tape because it's the strongest possible double-sided tape on the market and holds a maximum grip on your vehicle. Within it, we also provide a 3M cleaner and also an adhesive promoter as well. That way we can clean the vehicle as much as possible and take any chemicals off the top of the roof before we actually apply the spoiler. We're going to show you a step-by-step guide on how to fit this now. Okay, so the first step on putting anything on your vehicle that has 3M tape is going to be to clean the surface as much as possible. So usually what we do is we first use washing up liquid. So water and washing up liquid just to clear any dirt off the top of the surface, wipe it down. And within our kit we also supply a 3M cleaner as well. So what we do is we just give it a little rub down, and just after that let it dry shortly and use the 3M cleaner wipe. That will just clean off any chemicals which is left on top of the vehicle, any cleaning products. Obviously you want this to be clean as possible. Okay, the next step is to actually put the spoiler on top of the roof. Now we don't want to remove any tape off the back of the spoiler yet, because all we're doing right now is make sure the body lines match for when we mask round. So what you want to make sure for is that there's equal space on the back of the rear tail light, making sure it's equal on both sides and then it matches the lines down the back of the body. Okay, because we provide our adhesive promoter, what we do first is we actually mask off the area, because the adhesive promoter actually stains the vehicle. Obviously on a white Defender you're not going to notice that much, but on a different coloured vehicle you might notice a little spurge around the outside. So what we do is we mask off around the vehicle and then take the spoiler off and then apply the promoter. So the only part that you actually have to mask off is the bottom of the spoiler where these two little prongs come down, and then also possibly just on the side. And you want to get that tape as close as possible to the spoiler just to make sure you don't see any overlay. Now repeat that on both sides. Like so. Okay, so next step is now to remove the spoiler. Get your promoter, and for the purpose of the video, obviously we use a bigger tin because we go through it quite regularly and it wouldn't be sufficient to use the little sachets. What you want to do is you want to be very, very careful with applying the promoter, not to put it on anywhere outside of that. So you want to stay inside your lines where you've actually masked off, just applying enough around the area. Don't worry if it goes on the tape, because obviously the tape will be removed and there'll be a stencil around the outside. And on top of the vehicle, What you want to go is all the way up to this top line where the spoiler is actually going to cover. So you follow all the way around down the sides where you've masked up as well. Obviously don't put it on the front of the vehicle because that part of the vehicle isn't going to have a spoiler on. You can also do, if you are worried about getting any promoter on top of the light, you can apply a little bit of masking tape on there also. Obviously we've done this many times before and we know that where we should go. Once you've applied the promoter, make sure you're applying it very evenly. Once it's covered all over the body where your spoiler is going to go, just leave it on there to dry. Now the promoter is all dried, what you need to do now is remove the masking tape. Okay, so that's now primed and ready for the application. So what we're going to do now is we're actually going to prep the spoiler ready to go on. Now the 3M tape, obviously we don't want to remove all of the 3M tape straight away because that way we're not going to be able to get it in the position where we want it to be. So what we use is masking tape, and we only pick off the ends of the 3M tape and just tuck it around and hold it in place with a bit of masking tape. So then once it's up there and we know where it sits, we can then start removing the tape. We always do it to the back of the spoiler just to make sure that we can remove all of the tape as well. The back of the axis of the spoiler, these three little bits here and on this side, you can take them off fully because that will be the last thing that touches the body of the vehicle. Just make sure when you're actually overlapping the tapes that they don't overlap in an order where you're going to actually get the tape caught. So what we always do is we go from the biggest tape, middle tape first. So as you can see here, we've got two lines on the outside of the tape. We actually do the furthest away one first, and then we go for the biggest bit of tape, and then we do the back one as the last bit that we do. So the remainder little bits that we've just taken off the back of the spoiler, we actually like to use these on the edge just to make it so when you are taking off the spoiler, you've got something to obviously stop it from getting stuck on that end bit of tape. Obviously you don't have to do this, but obviously when you are putting the tape on, you might just have to lift up the spoiler. Okay, so we are now ready to apply the spoiler. Now you can do this by yourself, but we do find it quite easier to obviously make sure your lines are correct using two people. Now, when you put your spoiler up, one thing you want to notice is we've removed all the tape from the underneath of this side of the spoiler. So that you want to put your hand there just to make sure that that's not touching the body of the vehicle whilst you get the lines at the top correct. Make sure your line on this side lines up to the body of the vehicle, like so. And then just have a look around the whole of the spoiler just to make sure both sides line up and there's equal gap between the lights. Okay, the line you need to follow when you put it on the top of the car is obviously the back line where the panel meets the roof, and each side of the spoiler, just here and where Nick's demonstrating there, there's normally about a 2mm gap on the either end, so just make sure that lines up also. We're now ready for the tape removal, so as we've masked up before, make sure you take the middle one off first, and you want to do this as gently as possible, making sure you don't rip the tape. You may need to lift up the spoiler a little bit, just to obviously free up the 3M tape that you're removing. And then you do the furthest one away. And the last one you do is just that last little strip right at the top. Make sure your lines are correct just before you push it down, and just press down firmly, making sure every part of the spoiler is pushed down. The best way to check, make sure that the top is actually lined up properly, is when you look underneath the vehicle, obviously just above the light, there is no gap space in there at all, so you can't see any light through the back of the spoiler. So that's on there firm. And obviously when you're pushing down the spoiler, don't forget to make sure you push it at the front end as well, because you want to make sure all that 3M tape is sealed on there as well. So there you go guys, that is the end of our fitment video for today on how to fit the rear spoiler on your Defender. Now if you don't feel comfortable fitting this, we actually fit this in-house free of charge at our HQ in Thetford, so get in contact with us guys. If you've got any questions on how to fit it, or if you've got any questions on the process of how to do it, please drop us a message or an email, we'll be happy to help. Like I said before, this is a very different product to everything that's on the market. We use high quality 3M products throughout our spoilers just to make sure the hold is maximum. We also hand polish and quality check every spoiler that goes out the door to make sure the paint of the body is perfect before sending it out. See you next time guys, don't forget to like, subscribe and press that bell notification to stay up to date with all of our fitment videos and all of our content. See you next time.